welcome. This is Celeste, also known as Joanna. Hey. Ooh, how's everybody doing? Welcome this beautiful Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope it's beautiful where you are. And if it's not, make it so. That's why you're here. Make it so. That's what you got to do. Today, we're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about? Building it beautiful? Building the bridges? The building. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to call it the building. Just make it simple. Keep it simple. Here, I've always got these long drawn out titles. I always do that. I always say like these really long titles. What are we talking about today? Just love. That's it. Just love. Okay, so we're just talking about love then. Boring. We're going to talk about the building, the bloating. And the bloating is very important. We're stepping into some this is my book number 2. This is the 3rd edition of my book 2. All of my books have gone through 3 editions. A little OCD, yes. Yes, I am. And my 4th book, I'm only going to do it once. I'm just going to go channel right through it. And whatever it sounds like and whatever it ends up like, we're just going to put it on just put it out there. Just get it out. I'm not doing 3 editions on it. Ain't doing it. This is my book number 1. This is the 3rd edition. This is what it looks like, the 3rd edition. 5th dimensional consciousness. It's going to be like, this is a big chunky read. So if you get through this book, it's got a ton of information in it, a ton of codes. So if you get through this, good for you. There's lots of great reviews on my books. I'm so very happy that people have taken the time to do a book review, because not a lot of people do that. So thank you for taking the time to do your book reviews. It does mean a lot to those of us that have been very honest and genuine about our literary work. So it's very thankful. I'm very thankful for the reviews that you've put on there. And book number one was I had to write it. I've got so many books inside of me, and this book was sitting around, and I just thought I can't sit around and think about, I've never written a book before, I just have to get it. So this was a labor of love, literally a labor of love. It was like a child I literally had. And it got edited 3 times because the type of person that I am, I was never quite 100% happy with, I could have added so much more. When you're, at a high functioning experience, you just want to put as much as you can in. But I also didn't understand that, some of the people that were going to be reading it didn't really have that, the capabilities to see into complex experiences that I was. So I had to, I tried to keep it as simple as I could. And my editor was really good. She was really keeping me focused. She would send stuff back and say, we've already said that, but in a different way. And this way, so like, focus. So I do tend to go off in many, many tangents, and my editor has to be very focused, right? Otherwise I could write another book, which I will. My 4th book will be like book 1, except it's going to be taken to that next level, 5th dimensional level. So the conduit, from all that I've learned from book 1, book 2, book 3, and then having 6 years and 8 years in the minutia of very dark shadow stuff. Book 4 is going to be all about, taking yourself from any traumatic experience situation right into full, here I am, source, let's do this, from put me in coach. That's book 4. Book 1 is an introduction about consciousness in and of itself, and how do you get there, and what does it feel like when you're just getting synchronicities, and what does it feel like when you're just awakening, and what is 5th dimensional consciousness kind of like. So we tapped on a lot of intro stuff, but a very expansive salad and sandwich kind of thing. Because my stuff is always like that. My stuff is always coded. There's lots in there. One paragraph is really chunky, so get in there and dissect every paragraph in my book 1, because there's codes in there. Right? So it really was a labor of love. And I'm glad that I was able to, put it behind me. I think I had a few glasses of wine when it was finally, on Amazon and things like that. And it's like, okay, I can let it rest. Because it's always, when you're writing a book, it's always in the back of your mind. It's always on your shoulders until you're, the cathartism of getting it out. processing it. So I'm really excited to get into a space where I can start writing, because I've got book 4 here, book 5 here, and I've got lots of projects that are here and rolling around. So I just need the space and I need the tools to get busy and a small team to assist me. So that's what I'm looking for. So for those that would like to assist in that, that would like to invest in that, please bring your collaboration offerings forward, and you would be absolutely in partnership to assist me in bringing these beautiful dreams to life for humanity and for the multiverse, really. Because as you all know, I'm part of the multiverse, and everything that I do is, kind of threads out and weaves out. And so that's how I like to impact. So today we're going to talk about the building. I did take, and just to let Interpol know, there was 43 people that just signed on, 40 people that just signed on. So we know where they're coming from. And now they're 20 people off, and now 20 people are back on. So you all know that the playing around with my website. So I'm hoping that we're going to get some news about my YouTube and how YouTube is going to respond to all of the games that have been played and what's going on there. So that would be really nice. That's part of the building, and having more Integrous platforms that are really focusing on those of us that are content creators, really giving us a really great platform that is not going to be, twisted and warped and, stretched back and forth to the hands of those that don't deserve it. The ones that pilfer content and the ones that copy content, and, when they haven't done any work at all, they're just copiers. So, and just know that when you're setting that out with Source Creator, whatever it is that you create and the intentions of you and the work that you put in, because everybody knows that when you love what you do and you've done all the work that you've done, you pour everything into it of yourself. And so just tell Source and your ancestors that everything that I'm putting into my work when you're doing your 5D vocational alignment. If you want a session with me, 5D vocational alignment sessions, just give me, send a payment in, and I'll have a session with you. And we talk about all this kind of stuff, how to create a 5D platform, how to create, instead of the old days mission statement and vision statement and all that kind of stuff, we bring it down into a 5D vocational alignment session, so that you and your business, or you and your offering is doing your minutia with Source Creator, and it is the alignment with Source Creator. Therefore, it is the highest refinement. It is the purest and fastest refinement. There's no necessary complications. And when you have that core foundation, that intention with your company, that intention with your business and your platforms, whatever it is you're offering, because it's in your name, right? You are a representation of the heavens. Whatever you are representing, that's your vocational alignment session. And that is the simplest, the easiest. That is your blueprint. That's what you're here to do. And that is what we kind of tapped on the other day, but we're going to go a little bit farther today because it's included in the building, is the navigation systems. So don't let me forget that. Navigation systems. And then we're going to do a guided meditation, and then we are going to open for questions. Okay, it's going to be telepathic because I shut down the chat room. There was just too much pettiness going on last time, and I want to refine it so that when I'm on here because when I do get in my space and I really start creating, I really start producing, I'm not going to be doing these every day. So these 1.5 hour classes are for the benefit of the collective. I would appreciate donations that assist me in obviously getting my new tools so that I can get collaborating and get producing, and then getting into a space that I can call my own, and I'm safely held and protected, so that I can keep creating for the collective. So your donations help with that, and I would be very grateful. And so the navigation systems and the building is all to do with, again, your soul's blueprint. Your soul's blueprint has everything that is you on all the dimensions, all the realms, why you're here, what you're here for. The navigation systems is all that you are, as what we've called in kind of when we first got started, the energy that I was given, the energy that I was downloaded. Energy that I was downloaded is the Christed Toolkit. And the Christed Toolkit is everything that you are given as we said, deposited on whatever planet you're deposited on. You're given everything that you're given in that Christed Toolkit to be, to do, to have, and all that you are. And they're just giving me they're giving me this download. Part of my part of my energy, part of my intention is to bring higher awareness to the outlining collectives. I say outlining collectives as to the galaxy. The outlining collectives that are not really aware of the galactic father's blueprint, right? And so we all know that because of all of the galactic wars, that any new generation, it doesn't matter what we're talking about, generation on Pleiades, generation on Sirius, generation on Arcturus, all of those experiences, every single generation on all of these galactic planetary bodies, Orion, Lyran, all of these bodies have the spiraling now experience of healing the particular aspects of you in the timelines of war, and what the Orion War was for taking resources and raping literally worlds, right? So that's not going to happen anymore. But us in our bodies, we're going through that minutia, we're going through that experience. So some of these soul fragments that you're healing, why you have to look at the divine feminine energy, divine masculine energies, because those were the imbalances in the galaxy of those types of specific wars. The Draconian Wars, the Orion Wars, they're very, very brutal, very, very brutal wars. And why the Celestials, they're not going to kind of jump in and run in and save us, because they've also learned a lot of lessons on how any one group of people can say our way is best, let's go in and save them, so that they're not going through and they're not doing the work themselves. Because if you don't know how, it doesn't matter how far out you are and separate from source, and if you don't believe there's God, and however far out your beliefs are from being aligned in who you are as source, as forever how out you are, you can still come back into your center, and you're never going to ever go back again. So it's very important that's why the right use of free will is so important, because if you don't get that within yourself, and if you're not doing the work, and if you don't have that purity of intention to pull yourself back into source and to pull yourself back into an alchemic situation where you're alchemizing such density, and you're alchemizing, the next day you wake up and you're absolutely different than you were the day before, alchemically, biophysically. These are tangible things that take place inside the body. If you're not doing that work to purely intend and have that hand of the Father reach out to you, which was very profound in our meditation the other day, for the hand of the Father to reach out to you, that is the hand of the Father saying, I'm taking you into a lighter experience, and Father's going to do everything the Father can to release the densities, to release you from where you're held captive or where you think you're held captive, because they're all illusions. So anything, any thought pattern, which is the lower mind, it's not in the higher mind. The lower mind is the place that gets people stuck. And that is the patterns, that's the looping, that's the lower mind, that's the physical mind. This is the higher mind. The higher mind breaks. If you cannot get to the higher mind, then everything in your lower reality will continue on a karmic loop. The only way to get to the higher mind is through the work that we teach. And it is a metaphysical experience. You're bringing the light and the consciousness, you're bringing the intention up to the higher mind, and the higher mind comes down into the heart space. And it's a physical experience. You can feel it. And you must practice it with intention, and practice it with knowing, and practice it with, this is my birthright. And this is why when you have those knowingnesses, all of that is your DNA, and all of the codons and all that source designs with you in the building of you, you now get to extract, and you get to play out in the creation of you and the new building of you. So this is what we always say. It's always the micro macro. It's always the holographic experience. Source is building you. Your DNA is changed. It's a living document. Your DNA is alive with source. It's the story of you. It's the destiny of you. As you're going through and you're healing those lineage curses, those lineage experiences go in your DNA, and you get to activate it. You then get to build with that. So it's always a living, as we said, the soup and the sandwich, right? Because there's always things that are going into it. And then you're eating it, you're digesting it, you're loving it, and you're honoring it, and then you're going to use that energy. There's always that E equals MC squared experience of inner and outer and above and below. And that's the building. The source is always building with you. In that, all of these experiences from galaxy wars, if you will, they're still going through their minutia of how they're learning in whatever that galactic, wherever that planetary theme is in their ascension. So if you can imagine the universe, right? The universe. This is the universe. As the universe is spiraling, all of the planets are moving through their circular aspects of ascension. Orion, Pleiades, Sirius, all of these star systems are also moving in the universal movement. The universal movement is still moving. Thank you, Holy Spirit. A lot of clearing. Thank you, Holy Spirit. There's a lot of clearing going on right now. So just open up your Divine Heart's Sacred Heart. Put your feet flat on the floor and call in Divine Holy Light. And ground. Feel your body bathe with the Divine Holy Light. Feel your body bathe with the violet flame. You're not going to be affected by those around you that want to play in the trauma games, right? If they're trying to pull you back into judging people and having people not come in your life and all of those things, especially now that people are coming into union, the families that are, sitting in lower karmic energy, talking badly about the person's spouse and the person's partners that want to come together, because it's not up to the lower vibrational patterns and families that don't know anything about the divine source plan or what's in your soul's blueprint. And those are all things that you have to go through because of the things that played out in the galaxy, right? They're just versions of the humanoid experience that are playing those catalytic experiences of the antagonist and protagonist for you so that you can stay in alignment of who you are. Again, it's all about your building of who you are. Who are you as source? That's the building. First of all, it begins within. You're beginning within. Your strength of you within is then moving out to the physical. So that's why it's always within first. It's always within first. You can't create without if you're not building within first. I have a great foundation of me. My chakras are aligned. I know that's my toolkit. All of my information, all of my ancestral lineage is all in my toolkit. That's where I get my wisdoms. That's where I get my information. I garner my alignment with source through the higher self. My higher self guides me in everything. I don't override source. If source says it's not a good idea, let's do it this way, there's another way, then yes, you pull back because it's going to affect somebody and it's going to be a karmic experience. That means you're going to have a karmic outfall. So it's either going to be you that are going to get karma for it or somebody else going to get karma for it. And you don't have to do that. You can just let source look after that. So that's why you always align with your building. Who are you building within yourself? I'm building the best version of me. So have that intention every day as you're doing your path work. Right? As you're doing your path work, what am I building today? Right? I'm building the best version. This is my mental capabilities, my physical, my emotional, my psychological, my financial. You have all of these aspects that you look at every day. And then you do your dream journaling. You do this, what came out, what stood out at you, how was I feeling? And then you mark it down, and it's a very organic, cathartic process where you're tapping in all of the multidimensional aspects of you, right? Because all of your multidimensional aspects are all aspects of you. You have to touch on them. And it might be a Pleiadian timeline that you touched on that you're really healing right now. Because the Pleiadians are all about the healing. So is Lyra. They're highly healing. But they've been through such devastation, some of the beings and the species in Lyra, because they were extracted from the planets that got destroyed. So Lyra and the Pleiades are where a lot of these beings that didn't have a home were taken up in Lyra and the Pleiades. And they were kind of like orphaned. And so this is what we're healing right now. Like, who do I belong with? Who are my families? Because right now, a lot of the people that are going through ascension, they're having to step away from what they've called family because they've been so abusive, and they haven't had, as we said in some of the videos at the very beginning of this year, some of these families and species, because of the length of lineage that they've been going on in their karmic experiences, and they're not letting go of jealousy and envy, and you did this to me and I'm going to do that to you, and you get to, how is it fair that you get to live in your power, and, I'm jealous of you, and it's just all the old experiences, right? They're very low vibrational. All of these things are healable. You just have to go within and build with you. Forget about what's going on outside of you. It has nothing to do about outside of you. They're the catalysts that are showing you have a vibration of envy in your field. So here it is. You have a vibration of jealousy in your field. So here it is. So heal it. Pull up that jealousy, look at it, and heal it. Do the healing. So some of these people that are your so-called family and so-called friends, they've chosen in this timeline, which was a toss-up, it was a give or go. They were given millions of opportunities not to do the karmic experience and come back to be healed into wholeness. How source deals with these people, as we said, I don't go there because it's too far and it's too vast, and I just don't want to stretch my brain that far because I want to focus on other things. But in the triad of universes, like we said, there's always going to be those lower vibrational timelines that are going to get pulled up because they just can't hold the base median for where Earth is now, where Gaia, the new Earth star, is now. Because every new star ascension cycle, Gaia is gaining in new Earth energies. And so the beings and the timelines that are being pulled out, what we've called Epstein Earth, they're going to go on a lower vibrational experience. They're still going to wake up in a place that looks like Earth, and it isn't Earth, it's still an earthly thing, but it's going to be in the lower vibrational universe. And then in that lower vibrational universe, there will be other beings there that Father will also, place as, systemary light teachers from the Galactic Federations that will constantly have these people can tap into certain people. But as far as my role with them, as I said to Source, I said, I cannot play that role. I won't. So you're going to have to find other light workers that will go and do that series of teaching in the lower universe. And so they'll have to, that's what Source's job is, right? Is to find who's got the excitement. Everything is designed for your soul's blueprint. Who has the excitement to now teach those in the lower universe so that any from the lower universe, if they're able to come into a higher vibrational universe and they're able to join the Christ consciousness, then they can do so and carry on for their species. But again, some of them they can't, and they've taken themselves out just because they've crossed all of the higher spiritual boundaries by, tapping into the Akash, which is, again, what is your protocol? That's the building. The building is all about who are you, what do you exist within, what's going on within you. And that is all encapsulating all the things we've talked about on all of my videos. You have to have a protocol with you and your teams. What is it and how is it that you're operating, and what are you offering out? What are your standards? What are your morals and your ethics? And if you always have that firm standing in who you are, you know that, and everybody else knows that, no, she's not going to sway. This is actually how she offers, and we're not going to get away with, we're not going to get away with our agenda. This is the agenda, because it's a sourced agenda, right? So if you align with Source, people around you trust that. This is a heavenly offering. We're not aligned. 5D, we're aligning with universal laws. There's no wishy-washy stuff anymore. You can still have there's lots of leeway within this, but you don't have the right to go around and abuse people and go around and do this and do that just because you want to play games with, what you want to do. No, this is the way it is, right? You have to abide by the universal laws. You're not just arbitrarily saying, no, I'm going to go kill that person over there because I'm jealous of them. You kind of have to abide by the universal laws. Right? So we're now into this universal energy within our galactic arena. There is a building. You're going to have to pull up. What's my protocol? Where is, instead of the mission statement and vision statement, where is my vocational alignment with 5D Earth? What part of the, for instance, what part of the on and off world landing stations am I going to play? Am I going to play a teacher? Am I going to play one that prepares the souls for on and off world contact? Because you have to know, if you're going to be on the first contact landing stations and you're going to be on the departure and the receiving station, you're going to have to make sure everybody knows about the chakra systems. And when they're stepping in the, it's like this little elevator they get in and they do a scan. And if there's anything that's coming up in a density in their vibrational elevator scan, it's like a containment chamber. It's like an alignment chamber. If they get in that alignment chamber, there's anything out of order, they have to go back into one of the meditation rooms, into one of the healing rooms, and they have to bring themselves back into alignment. They cannot go on and off world without it being out of alignment. So this is what some of the things that happen and occur on the grander motherships. They actually have these recalibration and healing rooms on the mothership. So when they come on and off world from traveling to different worlds, because every world has a different vibration, every world has a different story. And so every time you're going to a world like myself, I can feel the energies, and I'm storied with the energies of the planet. So that means they have to come on, and when they come back to the mothership and they're landing on the mothership, they go into healing chambers and they go into the recalibration chambers to reset their chakras, to reset the story of who they are, so that their building of themselves can continue, and then their offering of themselves can continue. Because you do get affected on whatever planet that you're on. You just get affected because you just do, right? You get affected by the energies of where you're at, especially if you're higher empathic and you are a vibrational teacher or healer. We've just been brought like that. Our bodies and our energy fields, we just get affected, And because it's not taught, we have to be aware of this so that the children nowadays, the starseeds, they get to understand who they are, what they exist within, what's going on within. So they're not taking it out on themselves in negative ways like cutting. A lot of the starseed children use cutting as a way for them to process energy. I've met many children that have done cutting, and similar energies that they do is burning. They'll burn their skin, and it's the same mechanism. It's the same reason. It's the same reason that they do that. And some of them go into drugs and drinking, and some of them start, having sex, because it is that beautiful, high that you get with ejaculation and with masturbation. So they do look into earlier sexual experiences because it's their only way to feel, that high of being with Source. And so the children are very susceptible to understanding and feeling their bodies. And when it is overwhelming, you do tend to have the children and the starseeds, again, a lot of eating behaviors, anorexia or bulimia. That's what I went through when I was in my youth, because it was the only way that I could. Your body takes on everything. Your body takes on the emotions and the distortions. And if you don't have that proper alignment and that building with you, then you don't know what to do with all of this energy that you've got inside you, because you've been soaking it up like a sponge, and nobody's showing you how to process it. Nobody's showing you how to set standards and boundaries, and what is mine and what is not mine, how to understand what's mine and what's not mine, what is the building of me, and how can I let that go. You get to choose that, and you get to choose your navigational center and how sensitive your navigational center is, and why your navigational center is taking you and driving you to certain things, so that you can release some of these things and give yourself to proper coaches and teachers that do have a proper protocol with the heavens, so that you're given the information that is the best, that's designed and aligned with your soul's blueprint. Because your soul's blueprint is going to want to make sure, do you know your boundaries? Are you putting your boundaries? Are you doing set rules of engagement for those you have to do set rules of engagement by? No, not everybody gets access to you. You've earned the right to have this beautiful multidimensional field that is very susceptible to all types of energies. And this is why when we go to the on and off world stations and we go to the receiving and sending, we absolutely know that they've come back differently, because they've been away for so long and their field has been altered by the negativity in the places that they've been. And sometimes it'll be very high places, right? Because you give your soul that chance too. But you want to go about this next phase of ascension. This next phase of ascension we're going in, it's a new building phase. So you want to be very aware of your multidimensionality, and you're going to be feeling, and you're going to be accessing, and you're going to be susceptible to all types of energy. So therefore, thus then, are you prepared for how you take on energy, how you feel energy? What is your toolkit, and is it aligned? Who are you in this building? So that you can know who you are as being a built version of you. And every day you're coming forward with a new version of you, a new version of you, a new version of you. So you're always this becoming part of you're always in process of being built, if you will. Because Source is always adding the tweaks, and Source will bring in somebody that Source wants you to have an engagement with, because you had a lifetime with them somewhere, and they want to come and say hi, and they want to help you out on your journey, right? So there's always going to be these pulling in and pulling out, and there's going to be people whipping in and whipping out, especially now. There's going to be, we want to go back to that hybrid thing. So part of the building is, and we've seen that again, okay, we're going to go back to this, we're going to go back to the family. So part of your building is understanding that you're here as a 3D person. You've been taught and told 3D church and state beliefs about family, familial, lineage, social constructs, and that social constructs are dogmatic, and school, and so on. It's all the things in the social thing that affect you and your energy. So now you're at this state where you've done a lot of clearing out. You've set boundaries. You said, okay, you cannot be in my energy anymore. It's just way too toxic and patterned, and you're not going anywhere with your energy. This is that's a cutoff. And those are things are done with Source Creator and your teams. You have to absolutely sit down and say, these are being of great detriment to me. You need to take this over, because I can no longer be in charge with any of these people anymore. And then you even have to take second steps to go to the police and get restraining orders, and so on and so forth. If you have the situations that have been happening with me, and these people just refuse to stop attacking you. And because it's dark occult, the more that we talk about, the more that we bring these things forward, the more that you have people go to take their confessions to the authorities, then all of these things start coming up, and we start pulling up the threads and the pods of all of these dark occult weeds. Therefore, thus then, those that are left in the collective that are choosing to move forward in ascension, they can find their appropriate teacher and guide and start moving in the path of Christ consciousness. Then there will be those that will be moving off because they've just done so much damage and they have not followed any protocol, whatever, even though they've known it. They've been told a million times, and not to play with the Akash and so on and so forth. Other people's Akash, and you don't do, there's a lot of things that you just don't do. Why? You have to understand, if you're working with who you are, the building of you, you're going to know that, no, it's very important for me to have my protocol. Your protocol is your higher self. Your protocol is everything. Your protocol connects you with the Divine Mother Father. Divine Mother Father and my heavenly program. So no, this is my protocol. It's never going to change. It's never going to change. And this is why I don't do love readings. This is why people that come to me for readings and for, any type of reading that they come to me, I'll just say, I'm not answering those questions. This is about you and your healing. And I'll refuse to answer questions on stuff like that, because it's not about a love reading. No, because if you're working on you and you're building you and you're co-creating with you and you're nourishing you at a soul level and you're focused on your soul's blueprint, just surrender all of your love to Source Creator, and Source Creator will bring in those cosmic, universal, multiversal, especially right now. So we're going to talk about that, especially right now for the building, because New Earth star is going into a special space within the galactic bedding, the omnipresence, the substrates, which is going to be higher in Source Creator energy, Source Creator light that will feed you and nourish you. So that means that you can manifest everything within your vessel. You can manifest it more easily with Source because it's a higher substrate. It's more purified, rarefied light of Source. So this is why doing your affirmation is going to get you a lot farther, right? And spending that time to do your path work every day, because the energy from the substrates is going to be a lot more working with you, right? And then when you do so, your navigation system of everything within you to direct you in that reality, that's what your navigation system is. It is all that you are as a Christed tool. Everything within you is a Christed toolkit. You don't need anything outside of you, everything inside of you, and how to use it. And you come to people like myself and teachers like myself and guides like myself to teach you how to use your Christed toolkit. You have something called the innate. You have something called your higher self. You have something called the infinite fields and what is held within your chakras. All of it is your Christed toolkit. It's multidimensional at the highest level. So if you don't know how to work with your multidimensional toolkit, if you don't know how to work with your navigation system, then you're not going to get that far, right? People can talk about awakening all they want. If you don't know how to use your navigation systems, you're not going to know how to get in and out of and move around, as we're going to be preparing ourselves for on and off world travel. You need to know how to navigate the Jacob's ladder in all energies, right? Because again, most of us here, we're here to create new systems for New Earth Star. You need that navigation system. How am I using my navigation system? Are you tuning in? Are you working, clearing out your lower chakras? Do you know when you're in an area of temptation? Are you always living from temptation? You clear those energies out. That's again your navigation system. Every chakra shows you where you're driving. Is your chakras imbalanced? That's how you navigate, right? If you're, okay, my car is pulling to the left, something's going on here. Something's wrong with the tires or the axle. Same thing. So your chakras is a navigation system, and it will work with you multidimensionally on where and when, how you need to go, depending on these new earth energies and what thread you're going to be working at, where Source is going to put you, so that you're going to be working maybe an on and off world experience, that you're going to have that navigational expertise. So that's about the building of you, knowing of you. What is your protocol? You're working with a protocol. Every day work with your protocol, bar none. You never go outside that protocol. That is one of the few things, like we want to be very free flowing, right? With everything we're moving, because we're going to give higher and higher energy. So be very free flowing, hang on to nothing. But the one thing you do want to hang on to is always your protocol. Always. Always, always, always. And that is the highest and the best. Because then anybody outside of you, any pocket of cults and covens, and anybody that wants to do what they've done to me, one of the reasons why I've survived is because my protocol with Source was so strong. And it was one of the first things that I was taught when I awoke. I came with a very strong character. I came with a very strong protocol with Source. I did. I had it when I was young, I always wanted to see fairness. I always wanted I brought up things that were not fair. Why is it like this? What? No, we can do it this way. Why is it like that? No, that's not fair for that person. I was always looking for how things could be fair. And I was challenged, I was sent up and I was challenged. You know, like, why is this so unfair? Right? And so that's having that strong protocol too. So if you're like that, then you're probably going to be, you know, somebody that we're going to need that's going to help with the systems. So that's why we're going to talk about, from here on out, we're going to talk every day about building. What are we building? What is New Earth Star building? I want to get you thinking. Every day I want to get you thinking about the momentum of building 5D New Earth Star. These are the new orders, and it's always aligned. It's always aligned with your protocol, because you're never going to waver. And if you do, you're going to feel it in your solar plexus, again, your navigation system. You're going to feel it if you're doing something wrong that you shouldn't be doing, you're going to feel it in your solar plexus, because that's the seat of the soul. The seat of the soul of your conscience is in your solar plexus. Do you know that that's not a right thing to do? And that's why these people, there has to be a global experience of the people that have been doing the shadow government is also liable. All of these people, and I'm going to be talking about it because they're going to be doing lots of research. And as things are unfolding, there's going to be various levels of punishment, if you will. And we say punishment, it's just an earthly word. Consequence, if you will. There has to be consequence for the ones that have been of detriment and harmed so many people, have harmed the Father's plan for however long it has been harmed, for pulling people off of their timelines, for ruining timelines altogether. There's been so much damage that's been done, that's been in the multiverse on the galactic side of it, and why the Father had to come in and literally put the Father's hand on everybody to get off of me. There was so much damage done, multidimensionally. So let's just go back. If you wanted to put on your papers, building, and the highest thing, we're going to talk about the building, and then on secondary we're going to talk about navigation. And so just off to that, we want to talk about the protocol is the first thing that you always talk about with your building, because you're not going to talk, even if you come to a fifth dimensional alignment session, a vocational alignment session, the first thing we talk about is your protocol, because you can't go into a fifth dimensional protocol for your company or your business and you have no protocol for yourself, so you don't know how you're built. So we always talk about you first, because it's your intention. You're the one as the representation of the heavens. If you don't know who you are, anything that you go to, any type of business, you're going to be wishy-washy all over the place. No, this is me. This is who I am. All of my brand, all that I offer, this is it. This is my energy. It's there. Everything I touch, my energy, right? That's why I'm really excited to work with, I want to work with beauty products. I want to work with styling. I want to have a clothing line, all of these things, because my energy's in it. I'm aligned, right? Everything I touch turns to gold because I'm aligned. I know who I am. That's my protocol. And then I work with my navigation system. I know that, okay, this isn't feeling right. I'm going to pivot, get up and pivot and build again, right? That's what I always say. Get up and pivot. If you know your navigation system is guiding you somewhere, especially like we said earlier, we're going to touch on this again because a lot of people are going through this and we just want you to have compassion and know how to pivot around. Those of you that you were brought up in family and friends, and then you've gone through this whole awakening and reckoning experience where you and your guides have awakened you to the ones that were behind the screens, beating the crap out of you vibrationally, stealing from you, false accusations and false claims and all of these things that were done that are not in any way moving forward with you on a higher version of Earth. They can't come with you. They cannot sit at the same table of you. They cannot be a part of your celebration when they've been a part of ripping you apart and bringing great detriment. To a point, people are meant to play that protagonist and antagonist experience so that they can challenge you in your gifts and skills and your talents. And are you realigning to center? Are you coming back to center every time you're being thrown off? Do you know how to get back to center? Do you know how to take care of your body when you're being impaled with magic? Those of us that are going to be in the collective as leaders, teachers, and healers, we all need to know these things. And you are all challenged to a certain point. That's part of the building. You're being built in certain arenas, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, financially. You're all being built into a higher version of you. It's up to you to say, okay, what's my protocol today? Where is my building for me? Where do I want to go? Because you're the one directing your reality. You're the one setting out those vibrations that, no, this is my protocol. If you come towards me, this is what you're going to get. So that's why you have to build that strength around you. And you have to be the one that's sending the energy out to the collective as far as the collective changing you. So you don't want to be so no sense of self, which I've already talked about. Where's your sense of self? is so changeable, you're so interchangeable that everybody thinking around you is affecting you. That's where you have to build that sense of self, and why it's so important, again, my teachings, light, wisdom, intelligence, get to the children. Because they're being affected by everything around them, and they don't know that they're empathic healers. They don't know that they're conduits. They don't know that they're vibrational teachers and healers, because they're not being taught these things at the earliest of ages. They're not being taught about how to build themselves, in a 5D way, not in a 3D old way, church and state that's crumbling. Why do you want to learn something that's crumbling, that's not going to be there in 2 years, right? So we want to bring all of these things forward as just momentum of energy that you can keep realigning to. Like, where is my goalpost? This is my goalpost. Your goalposts are always these things. They never change. Your goalpost is always your sacred trinity. What am I here for the collective? What am I here for Gaia? And what is my representation of the heavens? That's my brand. Your brand, it's you. It's very certain. This is my energy, right? And then as you raise your energy, yes, you get to move about in very fluid, but your protocol stays the same. You do not waver, because that's your morals, that's your ethics, and that's your integrity. No, this is who I am. And again, if there's people outside of you that aren't getting it because you don't want to play their corrupt games, so fuck it. So what? So that you go play your corrupt games. This is who I am. You're not going to force me and keep trying to pull me back to your corrupt games, because it's against human rights. Right? This is why it's been so important for me to talk about my experience, because it's gone across all of the human rights, criminal code, universal codes, higher spiritual order codes. And that's why we have to have these people and these cults and covens and the shadow government. They have to come out, and it does have to be seen by the collective, and I've said that to Spirit. I said, there has to be the showing to the collective. The collective must see these are the consequences for these experiences of going against protocol first contact, of going against Galactic Federation's first protocol, about going against spiritual laws, spiritual order. You don't tap into anybody's Akash. You don't have a right. You don't. Unless it's part of your spiritual blueprint to be an Akashic reader healer. And there's not a lot of them on the planet. Like, there's not everybody and their dog is going to be an Akashic reader and heal. No, usually you only hear about Akashic readers through somebody that you know, through somebody that's a mentor or a teacher, that are very highly regarded. The Akashic readers just aren't all over the place. They're not, because it is the sacred library for life that is source. It's all coded. It's coded source. It's very highly protected. Not everybody and their dog has access, nor should they. You're only given access to somebody's Akash. You're never given access to somebody's Akash unless you're a trained vibrational teacher or healer like myself, and you have been initiated from the heavens, and you have a good protocol, period. If you're going to somebody that reads the Akash and taps into the Akash and all of these cults and covens, that's what they've done. They've paid people to go into they pay a low vibrational seer to go into somebody's Akash, and then they read the Akash, and then they go and start warping it. They start putting intentions so that timeline can go to their timeline, so that you never ever achieve your source timeline, you achieve their timeline. That's what they do. That's what they get paid for. They get paid to fuck with you on every level. And they did fuck with me. They screwed up so many timelines of mine. So they've been all cut off. There is a bubble around me of steel, and they're not allowed to touch me. They cannot harvest off me anymore. My body is mine now, because I get to move on to a new space. I get to move on. And so Source is going to bless me with a body. I'm totally rebuilding my body, inside and out. Thank God, because my body's been through hell. But you have to be aware of this. We have to start teaching the children, because there's people out there that don't care. There's people that just don't care. They don't care that they're hurting people. They don't care that they're destroying people's destinies. They don't care that they're screwing with people's Akashic record. They don't care. The people that sign on, that 20 and 30 sign on, they don't care that they're screwing with your Akash. They don't care. That's when you tap into, if you do so and you're with these people, you're getting equal karma, and you have to get equal karma. Your agendas won't go through. You're going to go into poverty. You're going to get sick, and you're going to get ill. However your guides and however your ancestors can sit you down, you're going to be sat down. You need an ego death. That's all ego. That's wounding an ego. Going around the same karmic wounding ego patterns, as we keep saying. Entropy Earth, Epstein Earth. So just know the building process. Know the building process of New Earth Star. The building process is, we are aligned with 5D. Like it or not, that's how it is. Grow up. If you don't like it, you're going to be shifted off. So just tell Source, no, I want to go to Epstein Earth. I want to stay down there. I don't want to go to 5D. I want to play around and I want to be in kindergarten my whole life. So say that and do that. Stop messing with other people. You don't have a right. There's protocol people. So in the collective, those of you that are having trouble with family members and people that are meant to be family and meant to be, cheering for you. And so some of the things that go on that I've felt personally in my path to unionhood is that I just have to fix this. It's driving me crazy. Thank God for hairspray. It's just falling down. One day I'm going to do my hair and we're just going to have like coffee and a little talk. Would you like that? If I do my hair right from scratch and we just chat and talk. There we go. That's better. So now I can focus. This is the hairspray I use, although I would like to do, for a product review, I would love to, because for most of my adulthood, I've used AG products. I love AG. But for now, because I have no income, I use Transmutation. And Transmutation is a really good product as far as the hairspray is. I'm not a fan of their shampoo or conditioner, but I do like the hairspray. I tried a whole bunch of different hairsprays because I don't like the hairsprays, clumpy and sticky. Transmutation is the closest to AG. I love AG hairspray. I love AG products. So if AG wants to reach out to me to do a hair product, I would love to do a product line with AG. So my teams and my guides, you can send that through. You can get in touch with AG and have them see one of my videos. I've used AG for a very long time. When I was working full-time and I could afford AG products, I would go get AG. I love AG. Okay, so building and navigation systems. Those of you that are in those difficult families and pods, Source will want you to work it out as much as possible by you standing in your truth, having your protocol, by coming to teachers like myself that say, this is how we do it in 5D now. You're going to do your ascension path work. You're going to know who you are. You're going to start building who you are physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, financially. You're going to know who you are with Source. Source is going to open up your divine soul blueprint. Source is going to start guiding you so that you do open up your soul's blueprint on your DNA, your gifts, your skills, your talents, with your guides, with your teams, and you're going to start navigating in this path of your 5D alignment. Now you're building a new bridge. Now you're building a new reality. Now you're building a new version of you. And the building of a new version of you, make no mistake about it, and this is why we say it with great pause. The building of you is right down to the very cork, down to the atoms, down to the cells, down to everything that you are. You want to start reproducing your cells at a new experience. As you wake up every day, my cells are being reproduced brand new to hold the Christed light, to hold Metatronic light. My Christed toolkit is within. All I am is the God spark within. That's all I need. So mantras like that every day before you step your feet on the floor. You're starting to build yourself anew right from cellular reproduction. Okay, your cells aren't going to reproduce as it was before. No, my cells are new. I'm in control of my cells now. And that's why we want to start working with the innate. I'll have a whole other show on the innate. That's a whole entire, the innate in and of itself is a whole show, and it's probably, can be a week long. I used to have classes on the innate. I love the innate. And so that's just built, it's part of building you. So again, you're going to know how to, I'm going to build myself new. It's like this now, 5D, multidimensional, creating is like this. I'm manifesting my 5D experience. And you do have to have your protocol. Your protocol will also be held within how you manifest and how you navigate you, right? You want to have a good protocol with yourself. You're not just going to go to any Tom, Dick, and Harry that says they, a new AI page pops up and they read the Akash. No. I'm going to be guided by Source, who is the one that I'm guided to Source. So if you need a healer, if you need anything, ask your teams first. And your teams are going to show you. Your teams are going to show you by what videos come up in the feed. Maybe there's somebody that has a great video on healing or meditation, right? Source is going to show you, so pay attention. That's part of building your trust, building your relationship with your teams. And so we're going to talk about building next, and we're going to talk about relationship because it's about what we talk about when we're talking about your connection with source. And the difference between me and any other light worker out there and any other healer out there is because everything I see, everything I do, everything that I am and offer is the relationship with source. And that is a feeling, that is a sensation, that is the essence, that is the sandwich, that is the soup, that is everything in between. The relationship is everything. If you're not building the relationship with your protocol, if you're not building a relationship with your higher self, if you're not building a relationship with who you are, what you exist within, if you're not building a relationship with the Akash, your Akash, and only your Akash through your higher self, if you're not building a relationship with any of these things, right? If you do the path work, you can build the Akash, you can do any type of path work, and I can help you with this, book an appointment. Whatever it is that you're interested in, wherever you're at on your path, you're going to go through the Jacob's ladder. You're going to go 5 steps forward, 10 steps back. People come to me because they hit blocks. They hit roadblocks. They don't know how to get beyond this path. They don't get how to get on this. They're at this, their holding station. And Spirit is saying, you're going to stay there until you get this lesson. It's really important you get this. And then people will say, well, why is it so important? I've been here for like a year. My energy, my vibration has not changed in a year. Why am I stuck here? And so you get called to a person like me. We give you a full session. We give you a full healing session. We move some things around. We move some energy around. And we come to the crux of the issue. Because you're being driven from ego. And your ego has to be sat down. And the person will come and say, well, I've been going in this direction and I've been doing my Reiki and Reiki and Reiki and Reiki and Reiki. And they're so caught up on Reiki because they were told and they had a belief that if they were going to be an energy healer, they had to do Reiki and get their certificates and get this and get that. So the Spirit is saying that, no, that's not going to be where you're going. So of course you're only going to get hit when you're only going to hit this template. You're only going to hit this level of ceiling because your ego is your ego keeps banging into this saying, why do I keep healing the same ceiling? Because you're going in the wrong direction. You're building in the wrong direction. You're not meant to go there. And your energy is not going to go. So you're going to sit down. Sit your ego down. That's your ego, not your spirit. But the spirit just takes on this patterning, right? Because the ego, the mind just keeps doing what it's doing. So if you're aligned with your higher self and you keep with your higher self, we're going to go this way now. So what we said the other day is going in new directions. So when you're going in new directions, a part of the building, it's a part of your protocol, it's part of becoming who you are, it's part of kind of this new energy of you and this new minutia of you where you got to start saying, okay, well, I'm going to start doing this process here. I want to start, what is my dark matter here? What's the dark matter of all these things breaking down? Family, friends that you thought, what you thought of family and friends were, you're looking at going, well, that's not really family anymore. I can't be around this energy. Like if you weren't there for me when I was down, you're not going to be here when I'm up, right? And it's not saying that, you can always wish them well from afar and love them from afar, but they're not going to come back in your life and pretend they're buddies when they show up at the door just the day you get your first blessing. No, I mean, I've been sleeping on the street. Where were you? And they can't say you didn't know. I put it out every day and you stalk me and you follow me. You hack into my phones. Of course you know. So again, you have to maintain that protocol of, no, I'm aligned with source. I know everything that's going on. You can't fool me. You can't slide anything by me and under the radar. I catch it. I see it. I'm telling all the investigators. I'm doing their job. I'm doing the world leader's job. And you're not going to come and sit at my table. Everybody from Calgary. Still doing spell work as of yesterday. So these are the things that you sit down and you say, no, sexual spell work on me is not okay. You can't do that. That's not a thing I will ever find attractive. I think it's weak. It's disgusting. There's a difference between a soulmate and a partner that you have an arrangement with, and you have feelings and you've talked about how you want to explore each other. That's an arrangement. And then when you're working with your own bodies and you want to, self-pleasure, you have each other in mind and you have each other's energy to work with in a respectful way because they respect you and you respect them. That's part of the union process. You're coming together to feel each other's energies out. How and what do you feel, turn each other on? In what ways? You're getting to know each other's energies. And that's a natural part of the process of self-pleasuring. And you work that out with each other. You say, you can use my life force. And then you have those discussions if you choose to share your life force with harem and polyamorous and all of those things out there, then you can't share it with me because that's my cutoff, right? So you can have my energy to help self-pleasure while we're apart or while we're coming together, whatever it is that you're doing, but you're not going to go and take my energy and use it with somebody else. That's called harvesting. And that's what my ex in the cult did. And that's what many people do in the black web. They still try and sell my energy. They think that they're harvesting off me and they're not because it's been cut off. That's why they're all in a frenzy right now and they're all scurrying about because they're paying these monies in the black underground and nobody's harvesting off my energy. God's cut it off. There's a steel thing around me. Nobody's harvesting off of me. You cannot harvest off me anymore. You were told. This is why everything that they're doing and all their agendas is falling down. Because you're doing it illegally. You don't have a fucking right. You don't have a right to harvest off me. Go get your own light. Get your own sandwich. That's the protocol. That's building. You're not building off of you. You're building off of me. No. My energy is my energy. I've earned my energy. It's my energy from the stars. It's my energy from the galaxy. I've been here 1,000 times. You don't have the right. You don't have the autonomy. You don't have the authority. You don't have the experience. You don't have anything to even touch me, to even come near me. You have to set those standards. You have to set the rules of engagement. I've set the rules of engagement for years and years and years. I have copies of it. I have emails. I have proof. I have proof. Everything I've said, everything I've done on all my videos, it's proof. There's proof out there. So why is it still okay? And why is all of the collective Interpol, FBI, CIA, Calgary Police, why is it that I've given you all proof of everything that I've said and done to align with my higher rights? These are my human rights. These are my universal rights. Why am I following everything and everybody outside of me is still getting paid to do whatever it is that they want to try and fuck me over? How is that? I've been on here as a video and I'm showing everybody, this is how you follow your human rights. This is how you ensure that you're not going to get screwed around. These are your human rights. Abuse of power, abuse of information, abuse of technology, abuse of this, abuse of that. All of these are criminal code laws. These are things very tangible. Human rights are a big thing. Constitutional rights. It's the foundations. Again, we're talking about the foundations of your building. I've been built on the foundation of God. That's why God's not going to let you touch me. That's why I'm still here after 70 sacrifices. So I'm showing everybody. It's very blatant. Here's the evidence. Here's what's been going on, and it's still going on. Why is it these cults and covens are still allowed to attack me? Why? It's illegal. Why? Everybody's being shown. They're still attacking me. Why? FBI, CIA, why are these people not being arrested yesterday? Why were they not arrested last week? Why weren't they arrested last year? I should have had my money when I was 20. Where's my money? How many deaths do you have to, how many people have to die before something is done? Human rights are human rights, people. It's not a thing, it's not a wishy-washy thing. Well, I'm not sure. No, these are things here, people. I give you proof on my YouTube. I'm giving you evidence on my YouTube. How ridiculous is that? For anything to be done. And even YouTube is shutting me down. Nobody wants to, we can't show her to the collective. She's got to stay hidden. We've got to hide her. That's what's being done. Well, your plan is not God's plan, and God's destiny for me is the whole world will know who I am. There will be books and movies, and there will be temples after my name. There's grids on my name. There's grids in my vibration. I've been here from the multiverse since the very beginning of time. You damn well bet my energy is going to be everywhere. I'm just getting started. I'm just getting up. So it doesn't matter what low vibrational agenda is in the collective. I'm built with God. I'm built with God. I got a system. Who wants to know it? And it doesn't mean, and this is why you're tested, and this is why you're initiated. It doesn't mean you go out and abuse your power. No, because it's been abused against me. Because they could. In every other situation, in every other timeline, in every other era, they were using sacrifice. They were using a slow dagger. They were using warped Masonic experiences. Divine Feminine had been treated like this since the beginning of time. This is why God chose the Divine Feminine for the Messiah. Because it's going to challenge everybody in their beliefs. It's going to challenge everybody in their socioeconomic, church and state dichotomies. You have to heal your shadows. Where's your shadow in your mental? Where's your shadow in your physical? Where's your shadow in your financial? It's all there. I show it every day. I put it on the table. You have to do the work. Nobody's going to go through the gate free. You're not going to be given a free ticket to say, oh, you've done just about enough, kind of. No, you got to do your work. 51%, it's yours. You can't get through a 47. No, 51% people. Some of us done the whole clearing for the whole collective. I told Spirit, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not clearing nobody's karma. I'm not taking nothing on for nobody. Do your work, people. You're doing these things in knowingness that it's illegal. It's not anybody's job. I don't care what reader, I don't care what they say they are, because if you go out there and you look for, if you just do like, I don't know, energy healer, you look up energy healer, and there's going to be a whole plethora of energy healers. It's up to you now to discern with your teams, my team, my higher self, show me to the highest vibrational healer that's meant for me right now. Because maybe you owe them karma, maybe they owe you karma. Spirit will shine, spirit will always guide you. Spirit will always guide you, spirit will always guide, spirit will always guide. Your higher self is always your highest protocol. If you're not using your higher self, then you get all in the mishy-mashy of anybody doing whatever they want. Then you got people making fake AI pages, saying they're this, saying they're that. They're not initiated with Source. They're not initiated. All they're doing is copying somebody else. They're not aligned on any level. They're giving you their highest, darkest. That's all they're doing. Because that's all they are. They can't go up to the higher self. So how are they they're gonna heal you? They're giving you their highest, darkest, and they're probably harvesting off of you. There's a lot of fake readers that are online that were paid by the shadow government. There's fake readers online that were paid by the shadow government to manipulate readings. And they're getting karma. All their channels are going to be shut down. And that's why the aligned readers, there's aligned readers, there's misaligned readers. You're going to find out which ones they are, because you're going to feel tired. You're going to feel like all, so tired when you're watching their channels, because they're not giving you source light. They're not giving you aligned source energy. They're taking it from you. They're using subscriber lists to harvest. That's harvesting. Some of them do root work. And root work, we're going to talk about that, because we have to talk about this. Part of the building and part of you and going into union. Part of you going into union for those of us that are at my level, for leadership, teaching, and guides, and those that are going into spiritual healing and spiritual teaching. You're going to be tested. You're going to be tested, and you're going to have experiences that you're going to have those in your history, because it's going back to the Galactic Wars. Those that had used and abused energy to get what they want, to move about their agendas, which is selfish. There's no protocol involved whatsoever. They're paid to be illegal. They're paid to be criminals, right? So you're going to have those of you that are in your experience where if you're going into union, the people that are surrounding your partner, they're going to be a part of the attack, because that's just how it's designed. They're part of the protagonist and antagonist experience, so that you can make sure that you're on your strength, you're coming into source, your alignment, your protocol, you're building you and your field, you're building you and your field, you and source, you and Gaia, you're in your teams. That's your building, that's your strength, that's how you maintain your status when you're going into union. Because when you're going into union, all that matters is the two of you coming together in your unique fields. But I'll guarantee you, hardly anybody's taught about this. Hardly anybody knows about this. Most of the people that are coming together right now, some of them are not as experienced in energy as others. Some of them have been very manipulated and played with in their energy, especially if they come from Illuminati, especially if they come from cult and coven dark past. Because they've taken the liberty to use people's energy before they were even aware that they were being used and harvested, just like myself. I had no idea about any of this until I was in my 50s. So for 40 years, I was completely nil and void and blank to why I was always working my ass off, and other people were getting benefits, and I was walking around broke and in poverty and sick and trying to get up off the ground. So there's always going to be those in your family that you have to tune in to your navigation system. And what is your navigation system telling you? If you're constantly having fights and arguments with one or two of your family members, and they're always telling you, and they're always trying to draw you back with the fishing line to say, oh no, don't do that, better be careful. And they're feeding you information to be safe and come back to me. These are energies where they've got either an emotional binding to you, or they've got a vibrational binding to you, and they've got a financial binding to you, because they're being benefited from you not going outside of their walls, of their circle. So this is how family dichotomies play. So you have to be the one that stands in your power to say, I'm working on my energy. I have a plan with Source Creator. My highest intention right now, my highest directive from the multiverse right now is for me to go into union because God is now building God's kingdom. And there is nothing higher. Your union is your highest protocol, bar none. Don't listen to anybody else that says anything else is higher. It isn't. Your union under Source Creator, and if Source brings you a soulmate, and if Source puts your soulmate in front of you, these are the highest directives, bar none. Right now. So anybody that's in your family, anybody that's in your family circle that says, oh no, you got to come back to us. You got to come back to us because you're feeding us here and you're feeding us there and you're feeding us here and you're feeding us there. And then they start to throw negative projections at your partner, at your soulmate. Then you know that there's games going on that you have to separate from, and you have to cut cords. You have to do a cleansing. You have to do all these things because I'm guaranteeing you there's root work being done. Because they're benefiting off you staying in a no vibrational experience. You can find this often as well, where there's families that have been involved and there's been people that have had multiple partners and multiple partners and multiple partners because they're doing root work on your partners, and your partners aren't going to stay around. They want your partners to leave. That's what happened to me. Everybody that was sent to me was a setup. Because they want to bind you for the money that you're bringing in, for your energy that you're bringing in, for the leadership that you're bringing in, because you're the leader for that collective of species. I'm a leader for my species. I'm a leader for all starbids and hybrid and crystalline children. I'm a leader. So, of course, all of these pods that think that they're going to be, spawning with the leader girl, with the crystalline girl, and they're trying to get your energy and they're trying to spawn off you and send people to you. It's just a sick BS agendas. It's like these little tiny people trying to play God. You're not God people. You're like little tiny people that aren't dealing with your karma, right? And they're little tiny ants and little tiny, like just bothering people, little parasites. But you have to know how to deal with them. You have to know how to say, no, this is me. I'm building me. This is me. I'm building me. My building is with Source Creator. Nothing comes between that. So you know that when it's your union and you know who your union partner is, nothing comes between that. And you learn how to do energy work between you and your partner. Because you know that there's going to be attacks. There's always attacks. Because they don't want you coming together. Because then I'm going to be seen in the collective, which they didn't want. Right? So Source says, no, you're going to come together with your partner and both of you are going to be seen. You're both leaders now. That's the Divine Father's plan. Of course, they're going to throw anybody and their dog, especially your family, because they know that you have weaknesses for your family. Oh, no, they're my sister. They can't do that. Well, they're the ones that have been doing binding work on you since you were probably egg 12, right? This is why some of the Illuminati families have a lot of incest, because that's how they bind. That's how they do their magic. They've been taught this. So be very careful and don't be careful, be aware, not careful, because then you're going to be talking just like the ones that want to keep you in their little pod, right? They want to keep you in their little circle. They want to keep you in their little, don't go outside, don't go outside, don't go outside. No, I'm going to go outside. Bye. See ya. Right? If I fall down, I fall down. I'll get back up all on my own. Thanks very much for being there for me. Right? So just be aware of how people play with energy and how people kind of manipulate it and draw you back with the fishing thing. And, what about this girl over here? What about this girl? No, they want you to be with the ones over there because they're the Illuminati. They're the low vibrational. They don't want to grow. They don't want to evolve. They're going to stay in their low vibrational pods. And they're going to test anybody that comes in with new energy, test anybody that comes in with new light. And they're going to look at you and smirk at you and say, oh, you're one of those God people that doesn't know the Bible, right? And then that's their energy. They're stuck there. Because they don't want to get and do the energy work. Source is all things, source is all energy. Yeah, that's me. You read from a Bible. Okay, that's your energy. Right? So you have to understand the minutia. You have to understand the waving of energy and how people are going to target you and how people are going to play you. And you have to maintain your navigation. This is my navigation system. When it comes to unions right now, a lot of people are being brought into union. They're being prepared. And being prepared means that you're going to hit the highest level of your energetic warfare just before union. Because all the sides involved are not wanting to see their corrupt ways fall. Because when union people come together, the Father's kingdom the foundation is built. The garden is people, the seeds have been set. This is the garden. It's my garden. Seeds have been set. And all these corrupt programs, they can't hold up. They cannot hold up in the Father's plan. The corrupt programs have to come down. Obviously, they will. Every day we're being bathed in light. The corrupt programs won't stand in this light because they're corrupt. Corruption cannot stand in light. You have to change. Just standing in my light, you're going to change. You're going to be facing your darkness when you stand in my light. It's not me doing anything to you. No, you're being shown your shadow. Heal it. I'm standing in my truth. This is my protocol. Who are you? You don't have a protocol, so you can go get one. I'm not changing me just because you don't want to have a protocol. You don't have any standards. You don't have any rules of engagement. You're allowing people to take advantage of you left, right, and center. You're allowing people to rape from you, steal from you, take you. That used to be me. This is why 40 years of damage and 40 years of really bad karma that people are going to get, 40 years of the government doing this shit, and they're trying to still hide from it. All you're doing is just getting more bad karma, shadow government. All you're doing is just getting more bad karma. All you're doing is just getting more criminal sentencing behind your jail term. That's your answer? You should be coming to the table with an offer 2 years ago when the timeline was up, before the ancestors got pissed off. The ancestors don't care anymore. Everybody's being pulled up. Everything. Right? Rug from underneath everybody's being pulled. Everybody's rug is being ripped up. And it doesn't matter. Health problems, school, whatever is your agenda, whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you're putting into, whether it's your cult, your coven, your body, your Gucci bag, whatever it is that you think you do that is your thing, it's getting pulled. You need it pulled. You're going to be charged. I will charge you with malice and contempt. I'm going to charge you with everything I can charge you with. Calgary cult. I'm pressing charges on all of you, right up to the 300. I'm pressing charges on everybody. Abuse of power, abuse of technology, abuse of information, even the little minions that have come all the way over here from Nigeria. I'm putting charges on you, all of you. All of you were involved and all of you knew what you were doing. All of you knew what you were doing. You took money. You took money from whoever you were taking money from, whether it was my ex, whether it was from the people that were higher up. You all took money to abuse me. You all took money to make the false accusations. You all bore for a false witness on stand. You all perjured yourselves. You all did all of these things and all of these lies. All of you are guilty. All of you. They're saying some of us have gone into the police and given our statements. So now you're starting to clear your karma. Now what are you doing to fix it? That's just one part of your karma. What are you doing to fix it? You have to actually take action. Yes, making that statement is action because you're now trying to clear out your karma. You're now bringing truth to you. What are you doing to me that you've screwed around? You haven't done anything to make it right for me. That's one part of it. That's clearing your karma. That's clearing your lies. So how are you helping me? How are you going to make it right for me and all the defamation and all the lies that you told and my children that were affected, my children that were horribly affected? How they see me, how they know me, my view in the world as a homeless person. Not only did I have to take the divine feminine Messiah being judged and being targeted, like the ladies being stoned all over the place. It's exactly what I have to live through every day. My spiritual voice is not heard. My platforms are being blocked and even paid by elite social church and state people to silence me, to have me never being seen. Because if I was seen, then the true story of who I am and how I was taken and how I was manipulated and how I was fabricated, I wasn't given one penny through my whole life. If there's money that says that people were coming to give me money throughout my whole life because there was a stipend that was coming to me for the people that were supposed to look after me, nobody paid me a penny. Nobody looked after me. I had a family, yes, and that family was toxic, but nobody gave me any money. I was never given any money by anybody. Ever. I've been homeless for 6 years. 6 years I've been homeless. 1 year on Easter Monday, this coming April, I will be absolutely on the street for 1 full year. 1 year on the street. With no shelter, no nothing. 1 year I've survived. 1 year. Coming April, Easter Monday. So you tell me all these people that really now care. And God's going to bless me no matter what. If the shadow government does right, doesn't matter. You're just going to get a whole bunch of really bad karma you're never going to get out of. This is why God gave chance after chance after chance after chance. I mean, people got willy-nilly chances all over the place. This is how good God is. And I'm still no money, no wire, no money, no nothing. So although you've taken your confessions, which has cleared your conscience, and now you have a tiny bit of peace, what about my peace? Because I'm still homeless. What are you doing to give back to me? You're coming to my channel to harvest and to get more information, to get yours, so you're still taking. You still haven't quite got it. You caused me a lot of damage and loss and trauma and sorrow, and you exploited my sorrow, you exploited my suffering. You all made money in the black underground, and you were all handing money back and forth to the judges and to the police and the corrupt city of Calgary. All of you were getting money and all of you were doing your thing. So what am I getting? I want to actually receive. I want something in my hand. I want tangible things in my hand. That's what I want. I mean, it means something that a spiritual healer, teacher, and leader that has been saying for 3 years, go to the authorities and here's your 3 things that you can do to make it right for you. Some of these people have taken that wisdom from God and they've seen that things have worked out and they're slowly starting to get their life on track because that's what you were meant to do. So I'm happy that the spiritual advice is you're learning from it and you're gaining from it and you will come out on the better end because now you're listening to spirit. Now you're doing what your higher self is offering you. Now you're looking to this self and say, no, my conscience feels good. My chakras feel good. I'm starting to rebuild myself. That's what you're supposed to do. So good for you. So now go in and love and give yourself compassion. Now what are you going to do to help me out? What are you going to give me? The damage has been done. Like all of you know that. This is the biggest part about my healing that I need everyone in the collective to know. This is the biggest part of my healing that assists me with my healing. It assists me with my healing when I've come here as this light that I automatically process your negative energy just by being next to me. I do that. That's what I do. This is what I emanate. This is me. I'm the situation. I go into darkness and I transmute. I transmute it. I feel it, I sense it, I hear it, I transmute it, I put it back in the collective brand new. That's me. That's me. Some of it I do automatically. I don't even know I do it. The harsher stuff, the really toxic stuff, I actually have to go through the story. I transmute the story. You then have to take it on and say, I'm going to transmute this story. You have to be consciously aware of it to do your part of it. But as far as the darkness of it, I transmute, I'm the situation. You put me against a whole bunch of negative, corrupt government people. You put me right in the middle of it, and I will break it up, and boom, there it is. That's why they have no power. That's why they're all coming down, because it's me. I'm the situation. I'm the light. I'm it. I'm it. So I'm like this for the whole collective. I've done the transmuting for the black web. That's why I say it's going to come up by June 30th. I'm the situation. I'm putting my light there. Who else is doing it? I'm calling the situations out. I'm giving information. I put my light there. Here it is. The aligned readers confirm it, but my platforms are shadow banned. They don't want me out there because they still want to make money off having sex with kids and taking my money from my inheritance. So this is what I do. This is what I want the collective to know. This is how I transmute darkness. I align with my building with Source Creator. I am the protocol with Source. I'm a God. God is preparing me as a God. I'm showing all of you how to be godly. I'm teaching all of you how to be godly. Aside from church and state, because it's false, corrupt. So in that, if this is what I do for all of you, the weight has been carried, the stories have been carried, every defamation lie. And there's things that won't even go to court because the defamations lie are so ridiculous. None of it corroborates. Not even an ounce of it corroborates. It won't even go to trial. You're just going to be charged with your criminal charges because there's so much evidence. And even in questioning, it'll be so ridiculous. They're going to throw out the questioning. It's not even going to go to trial. All of you will be charged because the abuse has been so blatant, so abhorrent, no due diligence, no checkpoints, no nothing for years and years and years and years and years. Why was there no checkpoints and no due diligence on any level? Why did nobody catch any of this? Off of all of our government systems, government, banking, insurance, all of these systems. All of these systems failed me. All of them failed me. Just as the children in trafficking, they're being failed. It's not going to go anymore. It's being fixed with me. It stops with me. So my light, my energy, my information, my intentions, my building, my navigation. There I am, a piercing of light, and you will not get away from me. My light will stand, and it will be the nail in your toe. And you're going to stand in front of me until you face your deeds. Now, what are you going to give me? Because that's what it takes. How many years? 8 years, my shadow ban on YouTube. What is YouTube going to give me? Free access. Okay, so then what? What about all my wasted time? What about all the videos you messed with? What about the video dates you messed with? What about the timelines that I've never reached monetization? I should be getting, instead of 10,000 views a week, I should be getting 50 and 60,000. So what is that per diem back 8 years? Do the math. That's what we used to do in our mortgage center. When they used to come to me for investigations, this is what we used to do. Do the math. Let's work it back. What were the interest rates? Then work it back. What were the interest rates? Then work it back. And we used to recalculate mortgages, pull them right up from the beginning. We used to put together a mortgage from beginning to end, find out where the error was, and then rebuild it. We used to rebuild mortgages because there were errors. That's how you fix it. So how am I going to get fixed? How am I going to get the energies back? How am I going to get the monies back? I've already carried the weight of the damages. I've already carried the weight of not being with my children that I will never get back. I will never get back that time with my children, ever. Their days at school, all of their projects, all of the things that I would have been a helicopter mom at home, everything that they went through, I would have heard it. I would have been there for them. I would have helped them. I would have given them the light. I would have been there. I haven't. Because I've been isolated playing the slow dagger bullshit games, trying to hang on to my life so that I can be there for the collective, for the Father's plan. So I've carried the weight, I've transmuted the energy, I've given you all teachings, I've given it right from scratch. This is what we're going through ascension. This is how you do it. This is what you need. This is where you're going. So I prepare each and all of you every day. What am I getting? This is what the collective has to understand. You cannot go through unity consciousness if you're not doing anything but taking. You cannot keep taking. You must give back. If you've messed somebody up in any way, you need to give back. And that person, and part of your karma is, part of your learning is, part of your facing your shadow is, part of your healing your ego is being softened and forgiveness and compassion to yourself and say, I know that I've hurt you. How can I give back to you so that you get what you need? And everybody, the 300 people, they've all been told what I need. What I need is I want the monies returned yesterday. Because I got a whole bunch of stuff that needs fixing, and I don't want to sleep on the street one more night. I've all told you all what I need, and I haven't received anything. So therefore, then you don't care, because your actions will always determine your vibration. If you care, you're going to be a giver. This is what givers look like. Givers give. They are aligned, they radiate light, they are grounded, and they serve their collective. They give. That's part of your initiation. Because it doesn't matter how bad it is, it doesn't matter how much trauma, it doesn't matter how much darkness, you always get up. No matter where I'm at, Source, I will get up and I will build today. What is it you need of me? How may I serve? That's what you ask Source Creator every day. And Source sees you get up. Source sees you get up. It doesn't matter what you have to build with, get up. All you have is within you. God is within you. And God will test you on that. How much do you believe of this? How much hope do you have within you of this? Well, I'm here, and that's enough. I tell that to Source every day. I don't want to be tested. You're not going to test me anymore. My soul has been tested more than any soul has been tested in the multiverse. You're not going to test me anymore. I know what I know. I know who I am. You're either going to bring me the people that I'm going to build with, or I'm not going to build. It is that simple. I can play hardball with all sides, and I will. Because there's breaches of contracts on all sides. I'm going to be supported by the heavens because I now know my worth. I now know my value. I'm not going to keep giving without being given back in return. I'm not going to be sustained living on the street in the conditions that I have. Less than. The lowest version of poverty. That is where I live. Below that. And every day I put myself together, and every day I come forward, and every day I give my best. This is the light that I give the collective. This is what I give the collective. I show you how. I show you how to heal your trauma, build your story brand new, no matter what's in front of you, go forward from within out. That's how nobody touches you and nobody bothers you. And it doesn't matter how much black magic they're throwing at you. No, this is who I am. Bug off. Because there's people that will be like that you have to say that. No. because they're not taking responsibility for themselves and they're not doing the work. And they're going to keep trying to take it from you and harvest from you. And you have to say no. You have to learn, how am I being manipulated? How am I being harvested? How am I being root worked? How am I being black magic? It's out there. It's everywhere. Why? Look around in your family. Look around in your social circle. Who is always getting things that's totally unfair because they're really not nice people? Who is always getting things even though they're church and state and even though they say they're doing all righteous things, but you know that they're not. These are harvesting situations. These are black market, black web situations where everybody and their dog is getting paid to ensure that the same people win. No, you won't win anymore. Your corruption, and you're playing it both ways, and you're manipulating people, and you're manipulating your family members, and you're manipulating everything so you stay where you are and you never have to look at yourself. No, you're going to have to look at yourself because everybody's going through the 5D gates. You're either going to go through or you're going to get left behind. Doesn't matter what you want for your family members. You still have to do your work. You still have to face who you are. That's not going to change. And that's why God places me in with those that are the most staunch that don't want to change, because my light is my light. I'm not going to make you believe me. I'm not going to jump on your side either. I'm going to be respected just as I respect you. You keep doing whatever you're going to do. I'm going to call you out on it. And if you don't like me calling on you, then maybe you stop being a criminal. How about you do that? I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call what I see. That's my job. Why? System. It's my navigation. It's my gifts. It's my gifts. That's what God puts me here for. God will put me here that if there's not a judge before me, and there's children right there, and there's children right there, and there's somebody right there, and there's somebody right there, and I'm the judicial court on the higher spiritual courts, I'm going to say it. No, I'm the higher spiritual courts. You're absolutely corrupt as fuck. You're going to sit down. You got your suspension papers. And I call on my beads. I call on my beans. I call on my beans. Yeah, suspension papers. And they're going to start to get karma now, now, now. Sit down. That's how this is going to go. And you all know it. I'm pulling rank. I have authority. Thank you, Holy Spirit. They're saying, go, sister. That's Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I love you. Holy Divine. Thank you. And 9 times out of 10, most of the time I'm humble and I'm playing with the fairies and I'm helping people heal. If I'm at the coffee shop, I'm talking to people and I'm helping them heal. But when you push me and you constantly push me and you constantly push me, like these people from Calgary, they're still attacking me. It's been over 8 years, people. Get over it. I'm not coming back. Get over it. But they want to just keep pulling you into their drama because that's how they feed. They feed off your energy. And when God says no, it means no. You're going to sit down, whether it's in jail, whether it's however the ancestors are going to sit you down, because the ancestors have had enough. All you're doing is hurting people and taking people out and warping the timelines. You're going to go. People like that there's no tolerance, people. You have to understand this. Shadow government, there is no tolerance. There is no tolerance. Shadow government. From here, June 30th, chemtrails will be pulled. June 30th, nuclear arms programs will be pulled. June 30th, the black web will be pulled. Trafficking ring and RICO rings will be pulled. Monies are going back to those that have been the wealth transfer program, and everybody knows who they are within the shadow governments that have been taking from the innocent, taking from the star seeds. And you've been warping and slow daggering Masonic starseed, all of those that are meant to receive. And you're doing systematic abuse on purpose, and you know you are. It's a criminal abuse. They are criminal abuses, and I'm going to sit you down. I will follow you, and you will be following me. And somehow, some way, God's going to tie us up in a little circle, and who's going to face each other off? You're going to be facing me, thy God, because I am the hands and ears and eyes of God, and I'm the mouth of God at this point. And this is how it's going to go. You're going to face me, and at some point, you're going to give me what I've asked for. And my ancestors are just going to keep pulling you apart, rip by rip by rip by rip, until I get what I'm owed. My ancestors don't care. They don't. You've been all given enough warnings. You've been all given enough, here's how you do it, and then you go here, and then you go here. We've done the paperwork for you. I've carried the weight. I've carried the weight. I've done the transmuting. My body has suffered. My family has suffered. I don't have any friends or lovers because it has suffered. Everything you've sent me and all the games and all the little deeds, my work has suffered. Your false accusations have suffered. You have all impacted me. All of you have impacted me. So what are you going to do to give me? What are you going to give me? That's part of your healing your karma. You must give. And if you don't want to give, then you're just going to be sitting in karma. You have to give. It's part of your initiation. You will not be initiated in through the gates. That's part of your karma. Thanks for going to the authorities. That's part of it. Now, what are you going to give? You're here. How are you going to get here? By coming to a neutral state. This is who I want to be now. How can I give back to you? So go to the people that you've hurt, send them an email. If they don't want to see you in person, send them a letter, send them an email, say, this is the best I could do at this time. Is this okay with you? Please tell me how I can make it right for you. If you need a vehicle, can I give you a vehicle? And it's going to be a vehicle on the up and up, not a stolen vehicle. Right? Just dragging them into more of your karma and your crime. But that's what has to be done, people. That's what has to be done. It has to be done. It's kind of making it right. I'm sorry, but my hair is just driving me crazy today. So we just got enough time here. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was that late. We've just got enough time here for some questions. Some questionos. Who wants to have a question? Any questions in the collective? I want to send a shout out to my soulmate. He knows who he is. I love how you make you bring life to everything. That is an experience. That's one of the things I love about my soulmate. I'm just going to gush for a minute here. One of the things I love about my soulmate is that he can take any situation and he can bring life to it. He sees it and he feels it in certain ways, and he'll wrap a story around it. And I could listen to him forever. I could listen to him forever. And so that makes me feel happy. He can talk about something, and he can write in his prose, and he'll make me soften inside, and it just makes me feel so happy. And I love him. I love hearing his prose. He has the most magical soul. I love you. I had a much more eloquent writing. I did, honestly. I'll show you. I was too shy, though. I was too shy. See? I wrote it out. I wrote it out. You bring a coloring and emotional depth to all life, the storyboard of the creational being and the creational becoming, the carefulness and intentions and actions of choices that you or others make that you're being aware of, and you always bring such an adoring creation of happiness that is so refreshing. You are a man that knows the ins and the outs of every of the movement of life, and you bring the new harmonization and coloring of it. I am your missing lover that has returned from the eons gone. I'm your missing lover. Ah. So that's kind of softened me because I'm so intense. I'm like, put me in, coach. That's why God loves me. This morning I was like, put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. Go to say, okay, what are we going to do next? I go, put me in. Come on. I'm ready. Let's go. Like a little pit bull. Too funny. Okay, any questions, anybody? Oh, if you want to, donations, please. PayPal.me. That's how you can give back to me. If you want to make things right and you know you owe me, please donate. I have things that I have to fix, and I don't want to keep sleeping on the street. If you have information about my birth records and what people have been doing, then you need to put that to the authorities, and you need to give me copies. Like go to Staples, put everything in copies, and send it to my bank. It's very easy how to pay me back, people. If you want to release tension from me, what I stew about and what I worry about every day is the finances. So if you want to help that and you want to release yourself from that, because if I'm stewing about it, it's going to be a chain on your ankles. Because until this is released, it's going to be your karma. So you must repay what you stole. You must repay what you did. Make copies, do whatever you can, send it to my bank so that I can start action. I'm not going to sit homeless. This is bullshit. I'm the top alchemist on the planet. There's no way I should be homeless. This is bullshit. I tell Source that every day. This is bullshit. Me being homeless for 6 years, that's bullshit. I get that I had to learn about homelessness, and I'm going to be fixing a whole bunch of stuff that the governments don't do, and the governments don't care because the government's the one putting people on the streets. No, I'm going to fix things. So put the money back, because I'm one that actually changes reality. I change reality. Why do they want me hidden? Put me in, Coach. God, put me in. Okay. That's why I'm such a powerful alchemist. Because I don't put up with shit. Thank you, Spirit. And Spirit loves me. Spirit loves me because I go in and I get the job done. Like, no, this is how it's going to be. This is my game now. We're on my field. This is my turf. And you be you, I'll be me. Now move. Spicy. I'm a little sassy today. Sassy. So do you want to talk about my soulmate? Do I talk about my soulmate for a second? I love his eyes. I love his prose and his writing. It's my most favorite thing about him. I love how every day he talks about me in roundabout ways, and he talks about me to the collective in beautiful ways. And I think he has the most beautiful soul. And I love him. And he loves me. And we have both been attacked, and we have both been absolutely pounded by people on the outer reality for us not to come together. Na, 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 na. We're going to come together. God's going to have God's way. Oh, too funny. Our connection is like beyond ancient. It's a very powerful experience for the entire galaxy. The galaxy will be having a party when we come together. There will be so many things that will be righted in us coming together. Even though our personalities clash because we're both very headstrong, but we're also both very romantic, soft souls. So that's how we're going to help each other heal, because we both have healing to do still, right? We've both been hurt, and we've both had a tough knock, me more than him. So he's going to have to do more. He's going to have to do more cooking than me. I'm not feeling well. No, I won't play that. I don't play those games. I really don't. No, I'm actually the opposite. I'm more like, I'm an introvert when it comes to my healing. I don't like people to know. I don't like people to pity me. I can't stand that. I don't like that at all. So I'm just like, no, I'm going to go over here. You go over there. I'll see you tomorrow. Catch you at the gym, right? Let me just go do my healing. Let me do my processing. I'm going to punch a few pillows. Let me do my thing. I'll catch you later. Right? And we'll meet up for dinner. You can make the dinner. That's how I am. I don't like to have that whole, right? I mean, I'll have to learn through it because Spirit wants that for me. Spirit wants me to be given to. Spirit wants me to soften, and absolutely, for me right now, it is receiving. So that's why I come forward every day. I'm getting comfortable with receiving, what that feels like. Right? Because that's where I am right now with my soul's journey, is I'm receiving. So that's how it goes. And that's why I teach all of you too. You have to know how you have to know. You have to give and receive. If you've been taking from people, and all of these programs have been taking from people, no, you're not going to go through another cycle of fucking taking. You're not. You're going to be taking from you, because you're going to sit down and you're going to heal yourself. That's the only taking you're going to do. And you're going to take it from the people that are going to give you assessments and get your mental capabilities right. Right? That's the only taking you're going to do. You're not going to take from those people that just you've been keep taking from. No. You have to have cycles of giving and receiving. So if all you do is keep taking, right, you're going to have a cycle where you're going to give. That's just the way it is. I don't know if that's going to stay. So anyways, paypal.me, right? paypal.me, Joanna L. Sending everybody love. Hope you have a great time and share our videos. Donate, that would be really wonderful. Really wonderful. And we'll see you later. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, love you. Love you to my clients. I love my clients. My clients are awesome.